So I have a ton of topics to go over today, but I really want to talk about this fight, Reineer de Ridder versus Anthony Hernandez. I gotta be honest, I really did not expect the UFC to make this kind of match in 2025, but I really love this fight. But before we get into that, if you have not watched this BKFC press conference for uh what's the main event? Let me look it up here. Um BKFC New Jersey. I know that Frankie Edgar is returning, which I'm you guys know my feelings on veteran fighters. Again, I grew up watching Frankie Edgar as like a 5 year old. I played him on Undisputed 2009. But like you look at this card, right? Platinum McFerry, this is just a major card for the BKFC. Jeremy versus Stevens, both undefeated. Mike Perry is the main star fighter, active fighter there at the BKFC. And they had a clip where Connor called out the winner of this and said, whoever wins this will face me. So, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, Connor wants to fight at the White House. We got Frankie Edgar versus Jimmy Rivera. Like, again, this is a throwback to, 2009. But I like it. I have a feeling to it, Frankie Edgar. It's probably going to get chinned. But, I mean, both these guys are entertaining in the UFC. Love both of their careers. Christy. These two, man. I posted the clip of what this girl said, and I didn't show her. These two are. Okay, what am I up for time? These two are fucking hilarious, dude. And then Pat Brady, for voice. Um, but I'm going to add this into my video about the Contender Series. But we really need to talk about this fight. Because of obviously UFC 319, Hamza Chimaev dominated DDP in the most boring way possible. But this is a very interesting matchup because the stories of both of these guys' careers moving into this fight is they. I'm gonna start with Reineer de Ridder because Reineer de Ridder comes from that Dutch kickboxing background, and if you guys pay any attention to like the Dutch kickboxing scene, if you really look into many like gyms and that, Netherlands kickboxing it's unreal. Like the level of skill that these guys have, Reineer de Ridder shows it, right? But you have a guy who started off, I think Legion, right? Gets a submission win. Does really good, mainly gets submission wins, TKOs, this guy in the first round, makes it to 1 in 2019. First round Dars, second round he's TKO decision, submits Along Sang for the belt in the first round, beats him in the rematch, defends the belt, gets a draw, defends the belt a second time, and only loses to the 3 division champion Anatoly Malakin by first round finish, back to back. Comes into the UFC after a first round knockout over Malcolm Marat Gusev. Now, he debuts against Joe Marshart, who Joe Marshart I just need to make sure I have the right fight. He just got, yeah, he just got demolished by Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I got, oh, good one. The guy that I recently made a video on, really talented middleweight, that honestly, the big, we're not talking about him. Big issue with him was being well rounded. He moved to the fighting nerve. Um, but yeah, he ends up submitting Kevin Owens in the first round. Well, Kevin Owens, what is Kevin Owens? Big name, has a lot of good wins, big hitter, really good on the ground. He submits him in the first round. That is a really good run. Like, I really think that a lot of the MMA fan base underestimates Kevin Holland, mainly because of his character. Like, I remember I did the video back when that that one press conference people gave him heat for. But like, that's his job. That's what he does, and I love Kevin Holland. I think he is fucking hilarious. And I really think that if he rounds his game out, I know he just lost to Daniel Rodriguez in a really good fight, though. I think Kevin Holland could go on a solid run if he committed to the 170 division. He has wins over Joaquin Buckley, I know at middleweight, but he knocked him out. And then this is a big one, right? Bo Nickel going into this fight. And honestly, I got the sentiment, right? Like, oh, and Gerald Mercer gave him a lot of issues. Bo Nickel, really good wrestler. I've never been big on Bo Nickel, but I gotta be honest. He has an overhand, and he has American wrestling. But if you haven't noticed, and I'm alluding to my guy over here, this is a completely different. Oh, whatever. Does this one work? Giggle Stevenson's right. His debuting in LFA. Um, he, he's a different story, right? Heavyweight Freak has won everything you can win. In collegiate wrestling, that I'm not even on the right guy. Um, going into this fight, it's okay. He has American wrestling, and you look at the UFC right now, American wrestling isn't doing good against European grappling. And again, he comes from, one, the Dutch kickboxing base, but also the guy is brilliant and excellent on the ground. And what I saw in the fight was exactly what I thought. Where okay, RDR really smart on the feet. He's gonna figure out the right hand immediately, and he's gonna close the distance, or Bo Nickel will close the distance, and inside that clinch, Bo Nickel is absolutely fucked. And it only took a couple knees to the body, which, even though I'm shooting on Bo Nickel, I want to say this, you gotta give him credit. Those were major body shots. I mean, Reineer de Ridder hits majority of fighters with those knees. They probably go down. But I think the tone was, one, he was being overhyped, overpushed by the UFC, and two, there's just more to the grappling game than, what was 10 years ago, right? It's not the days of AKA anymore. Well, it is with Islam, but you know what I mean? We don't see DC, King Velasquez, these American grapplers. European grapplers are taking over the sport, and I hate it. And then he goes into a fight with Robert Whittaker. Very close fight, but he's able to do well at range. And again, in that fight, I felt Whitaker, although he landed bigger shots, he had the bigger moment. MVP is a prime example, right? Everybody going off on him for having like a low strike total against Jared Cannonier. His game basically is okay, the judges scored the rounds out for moments. I just need to make sure I have those major moments. And that's what he does. Um, but if MVP actually went for a finish, I think the MVP is deserved for him more than anybody. Um, but then again, the point fighting is part of his game. Um, he beats Robert Whitaker, a former champion, the former number two guy in this division, who has only lost to champions in this division in his prime. I really like Reineer de Ridder. And I think the difference with him coming from one, him coming off of a loss to Anatoly Malkin, is that Anatoly Malkin is one of the few fighters outside of the UFC who are elite level. Now, Malkin, I know he went on to lose one fight. He lost his last fight by split decision, but dude was an absolute menace. Again, three belts. But yeah. Let's move over to Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez. Now, what really put me on his radar was this Michelle Pereira fight. But you look at his career. I won't, I guess you can look at the amateur, right? Amateur, beginning of his career, whatever you want to call it, TKO decision. No, this matters, right? Any names that I noticed, not really. But, he gets in the LFA, and he fights Brendan Allen. Now, this is important. This was a very, very good fight. The first fight. And then he ends up having a no contest in the Dana White Contender Series. Ends up being submitted by Marcus Perez, who he was on a decent run at the time. I honestly don't know where he's at right now. He submits Young Park, which is a good one. Gets knocked out by Kevin Owen, and then submits Rodolfo Vieira. He has a lot of canceled fights in 2021. I forgot again the reasons for it. He ends up coming back in 2022. Beats Josh Prime, submits Marc-Andre Barrios, who just had a big performance recently. Again, I forgot against who it was. Sharmagomedov. Even though he lost that fight, he worked really good in it. Yeah. KO's Edmund Shavazian, back when Edmund Shavazian still was fresh in the UFC. He gets turning it around a bit, I do have to say. I am impressed. I've never doubted his skill. Again, it's just part of our UFC level, and he's kind of in there, I feel. Roman Koplev, he submits in the second round. This is a really good win to have. Again, a fresh guy in the middleweight division probably will be a contender for at least a few years. Michelle Pereira did really good against him, but he comes back in that fifth round. TKOs him in the fifth round and gets a performance bonus from it. The second fight with Brendan Allen. It was mainly a grappling match, but I really liked it. that fight showed you that one Brendan or Anthony Hernandez has really good cardio and he has solid technique. What I find with him, different from other grapplers right now, is he is really good at to throw shade at Hamza. He finds those damaging positions, and whenever he's on you, he's a threat, which you can't really say about a lot of grapplers. But if they have an OV on their name, they can do whatever they want. Apparently, because the UFC fan base sucks. But this is, I think, a true number one contender fight. And I know we have. Hold up. I'm just gonna do this now since uh, that um, article had whatever happened there. Um, you look at this division, you got Nasruddin Imavov facing Cael Borralho, Anthony Hernandez facing RDR. The idea is to either have the most impressive guy face Hamza, or because we know the history of Hamza, and maybe it's different now that he has a passport. Just in case you need an extra fight, you can have the winner face the winner, and you can honestly have the two losers face each other. I think that makes sense. Um, oh my, this thing about fight is tough. But, because you look at, uh, where is Cael? He's down there. You look at Cael Borralho, right? DJ Kennedy by decision, TKO, Paul Craig, Abus Magomedov, submitted McCall Zajac. That's a good win. Beat Mahmoud, Armand Petrosian. That's a solid win. He has a lot of solid wins. Only two finishes, though. I know he's a part of the fighting nerds, and that's going to give him extra stock. Um, in my opinion, though, I would have the winner of RDR versus Hernandez face Hamza because I really think these are the two styles that have at least a chance at presenting something different for Hamza. Because when I look at this fight, I think that Anthony Hernandez will probably have more success in, the basic grappling, right? Takedowns, getting in the full amount, landing damage. But like I said in the Bo Nickel fight, Reineer de Ridder, the thing with him is he's good in those awkward situations. He's going to be a threat to Anthony Hernandez moving in because, if we go to a clinch, maybe I land a knee, maybe I land a couple elbows, or maybe I take it down myself. And he's also submitted, a lot of decent grapplers and won in that. I'm not gonna lie. I really love these guys. I really love Hernandez and RDR. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, man. I hope these two win their fights. Nothing against the other two, man, but I really like this fight because we know when a good grappler faces a good grappler, you hope usually indicates out. And if this becomes a stand-up fight, I favor Reineer de Ridder, right? But I can also see Anthony Hernandez getting the better of him. I mean, Joe Mershart did on the feet. I think Anthony Hernandez is miles ahead of Joe Mershart, at least the Joe Mershart that we have right now. Um, Dude, this division is stacked though. This is going to be a fun fight. They are really stacked in October. Um, I guess we can end off with that. Like, both. I'm pretty sure both of these midweek fights are October. Because I know, yeah, this is Vancouver, and then we have. Um, why did he? 2025. You gotta add that. Man, why can't anybody just? Uh, I hate when the internet doesn't work how you exactly how you want it to. Like, okay, like September, we got Lopez Silva, Imavov, Borralho. Um, Solid September. I gotta say. Um, is there? Oh yeah, there's no pay per view in September. Or is there? Or whatever. Um, but this middleweight division, dude, like in the span of September, you're gonna bring back Hamza in October. Which, if they actually get Hamza to co-main event on the Pereira card, that would be major. That would actually, that would finally be the UFC stacking up a card. And it's perfect to do it now before, we have the mega White House card. I meant mega, and the fact like big. Oh my fucking god, I hate the universe. It's not political. I'm still watching the White House card fights, but yeah, the world is no, no, that's right. I spent most of my morning. I gotta be honest. Um, Watching a video on Carney's finances and his investments, and the fact that he's outperforming Nancy Pelosi. So any of you, which by the way, I don't want any drug. I don't want anything to do. I'm not a threat. I don't care. Do your thing. Whatever. Like, dude, you look at the other Canadian stocks and think, huh? And then, wait, I know Carney's a banker, right? But like, Buddy shows the charts, right? And like, it goes like, like, oh, yeah, whatever. But it's all a game anyways. They're all friends behind the scene. But that's what I got for this video. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I think this is going to be the number one contender fight. I love Hernandez. I love the Ridder, man. This is going to be a banger. But let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this fight? I need to burp. Ooh, here we go. What do you think about this fight? What stands out to you about these two? And who do you think wins it? And who do you think will face Hamza? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Again, I love all the support you guys give me. Especially like over like the past like month, the viewership has been unbelievable. I can only thank you guys. Thank you guys for that. But I'm gonna go record this video on BKFC or Contender Series, whatever I'm gonna do.